All right, artists, today you are going to start weaving on your beautifully painted looms. Yesterday, we made what is called the warp for our loom. Remember, we painted these paper plates to make this beautiful, colorful loom, and then we put these strings on it, and these are called our warp strings. And these are what is going to hold the rest of our weaving together. It's kind of like the skeleton of our body. It's like our skeleton of our weaving. So this is what everything else is going to be woven on top of. I have tied a knot in the middle of your black strings, so you now have one string coming from the center of your weaving. And this string is what we're actually going to start weaving with. So you can start anywhere on your plate, but once you start, you have to go around in a certain pattern. Weaving is just a pattern of taking what is called our weft string and weaving it under and over our warp strings. So you will just be pushing this under and over these different strings in a circular pattern. So I'm going to start by finding the end of my string, and I'm going to choose a place to start. I'm going to start at the top here. And I'm going to start by going under this first string. That means I need to skip over my next string. And then I'm going to put it under my next one. Then I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over. Once I've done a couple strings, you'll notice I have this loose piece back here. So I'm going to pull my string through gently, and that'll make it pull tight in the middle. Now to continue weaving, I need to double check where I left off. So if I look at my weaving, I can tell that it is over this string right here. So that means I need to go under the next. So if I go under, always with the end of my string under, so it's time to go over, and then under, over, under, over, under, over, and pull. You don't want to weave too many strings before pulling it tight, otherwise your string runs the risk of getting a little bit tangled. If that happens, that is okay. Just ask for my help before you start pulling and yanking your string too tight. I can help you untangle anything, but once it's tied in a really tight knot, it becomes more difficult to help you. Again, I'm going under and over for a little bit and then pulling my string tight. You'll notice that my weaving is starting to take up the center area, and that is the area that my weaving is going to start to show. Once you've woven with the black string a little bit, then it's time to start to add a colored string. Pull all the way, and I'm not pulling so tight that my plate is curling, but I want to pull tight enough that you can't see any holes through. So if I stick my hand under, you'll see that solid black right there. All right, artists, so now that I'm done with my black string, it is time to get my next string to tie it to. You want to leave plenty of room on your black string so that you can tie a knot. If it's too short, it's going to be very difficult to tie your knot. So you want to leave it about the length of your hand. Mine's even a little bit too short now. You definitely want to make sure it can reach outside of your plate. Measure against your hand. When you get your new color of string, you'll be able to change colors as often as you want. Again, you just want to make sure you're always leaving an end of string so you can tie on your next one. You have to tie on your next one so it doesn't just fall out. So to tie my string, I'm going to start by making an X with these little strings and wrapping one around the other. So now I've got an X where they're kind of twisted around each other in the middle. Then I'm going to make another X and put the two ends of the string on top of each other like that. And then I've got an X and a little O here. So I'm going to take the end of my black string and push it around the yellow and through the O. And then when I pull it tight, I've got a little knot. Okay? It's kind of like the beginning of tying your shoe. It's just you're tying a knot so that it really sticks. So you're doing that first step of tying your shoe 2 times so that it sticks. Okay? These little ends of your string you don't need to worry about for now. If they're really long, then you can trim them. But otherwise, you can just leave them on your plate. Or I'm sorry, leave them hanging off. I'm going to show you how to hide them behind your weaving later. Now that my next string is tied on, I need to look and see where my weaving left off. I went under this string, so I know I need to go over and then under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and remember, pull tight. You want to make sure that if you have a loop like this, one of the ends of your string just means that it's tucked in. You should never have a loop at the end. So if you have a little loop like I do, I'm just going to gently pull on the end that's loose, and then there we go. Now I've got the end of my string again, and I can keep going. When you run out of this yellow or whatever color you chose string, then you can get your next color of string and keep weaving. You're going to keep weaving. You don't have to go all the way to the edge of the plate, but you want to go till about the middle. How much you fill it up is going to be up to you. All right, artists, I can't wait to see your weaving skills and see what colors you choose to add to your beautiful, wonderful woven plates.